Can humans who are born in an absolute paradise win against a civilization that has to fight for its survival every single day? First, we build our square map, divided exactly into two halves. In the north, I am creating a paradise. Lush green grass, colorful seas of flowers, and various biomes dividing the land. I am ensuring maximum variety because the inhabitants here, they should be swimming in pure luxury. But in the south, there, I am creating an endless, merciless desert. In the next step, we'll create a large lake where they can fish. This provides them with an additional food source. Just like on the upper side, we'll place a lake here too, albeit much smaller, so they can cool off in the extreme desert heat. Before we continue, we'll build a wall right here. This way, both sides are neatly separated, and we'll save ourselves unnecessary trouble later on. Next, we plant trees densely across all the biomes. Only in the north will we leave a small patch empty. That's where berry bushes will go, to ensure the food supply is secure. Afterward, we'll distribute some resources. A little stone, metal, silver, gold, mithril, and adamantite. Last but not least, we'll spawn a few chickens, sheep, and cows. On the lower side, there's nothing but desert. We'll place a few cacti here and there, a bit of stone, and literally just a single iron ore vein. As for the animals, we'll throw in a few crabs, scorpions, snakes, and buffalo. And so no one can say I'm completely evil, we'll throw in a few armadillos too. They don't attack and serve as food, so that they don't immediately starve, at least in the beginning. So, the map is finished. We'll now drop 10 humans on the upper side, and immediately slap them with the trait, dumb. On the lower side, we'll place another 10 humans, but this time with the trait, smart. Since there's nothing more to add, we hit play, and let the first years of history take their course. The smart ones immediately start exploring the area to analyze the terrain and the resources. The dumb ones, however, seem to be making faster progress. They already have a campfire and a storage building to keep all their resources. Nevertheless, some of them get lost every now and then, and seem to have absolutely no idea what to do next. And I'm not exactly sure why, but the animals are jumping around like rabbits. After the first century has passed, we realize the dumb fools have actually grown their population to 10 times the size of the poor intellectuals. This is mainly due to their massive expansion and significantly improved buildings. But even though I gave them huge amounts of resources, their storages are still pretty empty. The thing is, they have expanded heavily, but they still haven't reached the richest part of the map. The poor guys on the other side, on the other hand, have barely expanded. They've just built a few houses. However, they recently managed to construct a mine and a windmill. But not everything is going well. They had built a small town on the edge of their capital, but unfortunately, it didn't last long and was eventually abandoned. Still, they might be able to reclaim this area soon. The year is 500. The rich fools now have a significantly larger total population than the poor intellectuals, and yet both sides have meanwhile taken over the entire map. The fools have settled in well and built docks as well as fishing boats to utilize this valuable resource. I spot barracks here for military training, something that looks like a museum, a marketplace to boost trade, and even a rather luxurious palace. Furthermore, they have erected numerous flashy statues. In addition, they have established a small settlement on the edge of the mineral-rich zone. There, you can see miners who are absolutely thrilled with their work. In the rest of the kingdom, the houses are packed closely together. There is certainly still room for improvement, provided they manage to develop the necessary knowledge, but at least windmills are scattered across the entire area, filling the storages. Over in the kingdom of the poor intellectuals, things are looking even worse. While there is a clear structure to how their houses are laid out, we see very little actual development. Here too, there are numerous windmills ensuring the survival of the inhabitants. A large part of the desert, however, is still completely undeveloped. Nevertheless, this hasn't stopped them from building markets, barracks, and statues. So it's not a lack of technological progress, it is clearly a lack of resources holding them back. Despite this, they were able to upgrade and further develop a few houses. The year is 1000. The population of the rich is now almost twice as large as that of the poor. Their military strength, however, is almost evenly matched. If we take a closer look at the troops of the rich, we notice some soldiers are still equipped with simple armor and very basic weapons. The rich have indeed built a massive number of houses and filled almost every available space. But compared to the last 500 years, hardly any progress is noticeable. That also explains why their population size and equipment have remained almost exactly the same. It looks completely different for the poor intellectuals. They were able to almost triple their population. All their houses are now connected by roads, so they have clearly opted for a high-density housing strategy. If we take a closer look at the troops of the poor, we notice their soldiers are just as well, or even better, equipped than those of the rich fools. A detail that I didn't even notice before, by the way. You can see people walking around here with books in their hands, a clear sign of how much they value knowledge. And that is undoubtedly what allowed them to come this far, despite the scarce resources. So, without further ado, let's tear down the wall and let the two civilizations finally meet. Will they encounter each other peacefully, or will it lead to conflicts? The first thing I noticed, the poor intellectuals slowly began to move towards the adamantite, but the dumb rich ones had also already sent out their first troops to explore. Meanwhile, war has broken out. The fools tried to invade the territory of the smart ones, but the reaction to that was swift and brutal. Troops were mobilized everywhere. Attacks were taking place on all fronts. Massive hordes of soldiers poured from the north into the south. Especially in the center of the map, they fought with everything they had. Arrows rained down over the soldiers' heads, while down below, sword and shield clashed with a resounding crash. In the center of the map, the rich fools managed to gain the upper hand and are already setting the first buildings on fire. Fire breaks out, and some warriors even catch fire. Another army of the rich fools pushes south with a large number of soldiers. But the intellectuals send defensive troops and make targeted attempts to repel the attackers on all fronts. Meanwhile, the smart ones launched a counter-invasion on the flanks. They destroyed important structures like markets, defense towers, and even barracks, all with the goal of causing maximum strategic damage. It didn't take long before they had already conquered the first city, and they advanced quickly to take even more land. The smart ones were able to take more and more land, and almost completely crush the army of the dumb ones. Only the strong navy still held them back. The gunboats proved to be a far greater obstacle than I had originally assumed. After 20 years of war, the intellectuals had completely conquered the kingdom of the fools. They took over all their architectural advancements and massive stockpiles of resources. Only time will tell how far they will go now with all this new wealth in their hands.